Charles Lowe, I know that you were the cameraman of Enter the Dragon, the film that Bruce Lee was a star, and that you worked with him a lot. Near the end of his life, you were with him, just two of you, together a lot of times. How and where did you go to?
Well, we usually go out different restaurants, especially Japanese restaurants. That's what we always like. The reasons I like sashimi and he likes sake, and also and he liked all the girls in the Japanese restaurants, and he usually teased the girls and girls tease him, and well, that is our happy life after our heavy work. But this is how we get relaxed.
What do you say about happy life? Do you know what kind of happy life he was looking for?
Well, what he means the happy life, he says lots of girls and friends, and he do whatever he wants. And it's the free. It's the too free. The happy life is free. What he means is
Freedom.
yeah, something like that. He's got very special freedom.
What?
Especially with girls.
Right. What does that appeal to you?
Well, actually, a movie star like Bruce Lee, sure, there's lots of girls who will chase him. Any big movie star, the girls will chase him. So he's one of them. That's why I said, well, to me it's a little different. I always ask him to go to Sunday church with me, and he says that was too soon for him.
Why?
Because if he goes to the church, then he missed lots of he missed all the other fun. See, whenever as a Christian, their life is more tight. You know, you have to keep very careful. But with him, he's got a free life. Nothing to hold on him.
So, what did you tell him?
I told him, I says, you better go to church with me because our life is very short. So he told me that I will go to church with you someday, Charles. He says.
What did he mean by someday?
He says he told me when I get rich, when I become a big producer, when I have a big studio like Golden Harvest, he become a millionaire. Then I go to church. Then I said that would be too old. That's it. This is the reason. When I'm getting old, then I go to church with him. Then I said that would be too late.
How did he react to when you were saying it'll be too late?
Oh, he's the kind of guy, he's a happy guy, you know. He don't even care about dying. He never thought about dying. He thought he always says, I'm still young. Yeah.
Just then you mentioned about that he said to be producer or to have a studio. Did he discuss with you about what he want to do in future?
You mean, well, he told me that he had assigned a couple contract with some big companies.
Chinese or the foreign?
Both Chinese and foreign. And also he says, and we both together, you'll be my cameraman. And also, I have mentioned about you, give you high price for that, something. I said, what about yourself? And he was very happy. He says, I got a contract in States. And that was a very high price, almost on top of all the American movie stars.
In that, is he going to be an actor in the film, or was he going to be the director or the producer?
Just actor.
Just actor.
That's what he says. If now's the time, I want to be actor. I get more money, then I will become a producer, or I will have my own studio, like Golden Harvest or something like this, bigger than that.
So, you think that it was his ambition?
Yes. He just want to be a rich man, be a big producer. That's what he wants. But I told him, even then, you have to, well, still I ask him to go back to about the church. He just ignored. Don't talk about church. Whenever I talk about church, he come to church with me, and he always pick up his
Saki?
the sake, have a toast. Try to cut me off.
So all this will mostly happen in a Japanese restaurant.
Mostly because in the Japanese restaurant we have a private room and very quiet, quite relaxing. If we go to some Western restaurant or Chinese restaurant, too many people and too crowded, so too noisy. That's why we end up have a quiet place.
And when was the last time you saw him in that restaurant?
That was the day before he died.
That means on the 19th of July, 1973.
Because the date, it's been so long. I'm an old man now. I really can't remember this date, the details. But I remember the next day, I was waiting for him in the same place. We already have the appointment. I said, every day. Mostly we go to the same restaurant. And that day I was there and tried to wait for him. I wait up to about 6:30 or something. And I call up his house. And somebody told me he's not home and something happened. Then I thought maybe some fighting or something. I didn't even know bad news.
So that was about 6 something when you called.
Yes.
And somebody in his household told you that something happened.
Yeah.
And did you react, or did you ask what was really happening?
No, because in my mind, I don't think so. He will have any serious things happen. Maybe some accident, like he usually do some exercise. Maybe fell down or break his ankle or something like this. I don't think I didn't even know that so serious. So I went to his house. After I hang up the phone, went to his house, and then I know.
What did you see in his house?
A few of his, I think his students and his son.
Brandon?
Yeah.
How old was he?
Well, Brandon's
roughly.
Very small. Where's Papa? He says, Daddy, go movie. Daddy, go movie. He didn't even speak well yet.
So, at that time, Brandon thought his father was going to movie or to shoot films.
Yes.
And what about the other people? What did they tell you?
Well, they were so sad and they don't want to tell anything. And one of his students says, I don't think so he will come back. they already noticed. That was the time they already noticed. Bruce is gone. He's dead.
That was already. Did you see his wife, Linda?
No, nobody.
What about the person named Nan, his assistant?
No,
No.
yeah, those four students are. I don't know them very well.
So what did you do after that?
And they won't tell me. I asked them, where's the husband? They won't tell me. They seem like so secret.
Right.
So I went home. I wait for some information. That's all I can do.
I understand that sometime later on, whether you went or you talked to Yang Qun.
Who?
Yang Qun.
Yang Qun, yeah.
There was something happening between you and Yang Qun, or talk about
About what?
about that somebody was calling and find out that he was at Betty Ting's place or things like that.
Well, I don't think so.
No.
I can't recall that.
Okay. And then after you know that he died, was there anything that you do or you talk to somebody about it?
Yeah, I was very sad about it. Next day, I was so sad because we really on the last after this movie, even in the last part of that movie, because we were very close, especially that scene we were shooting, the mirrors scene. That was a very hard job. Because it's hot and it's hard to shoot, and he's also working very hard on that scene with Shepin.
Right.
And I thought he has I don't think so he died so soon, but those days when we're shooting, I found out that he's been drinking soybean milk.
Is that the Vita Soy?
Yes, Vita.
Right.
So we ordered these Vita Soy, big stack of cases. He's been drinking this more than we drink water.
Did he tell you, or did he ever say that why he drank so much of the Vita Soy?
He didn't say anything, just he says, I will keep up my energy. And he says, but he's sweating all right. But I'm sweating too. But I took some of these, I took all different kinds of drinks. But I found out that I asked him, I said, I feel well. And he said, oh, I'm all right. But his temper was very, very, very bad those times.
Hot temper.
Very hot temper.
Yes. Now you knew him in the early stage of the shooting of the film, and this was near the end of the shooting of the film.
The last part.
Did you find the difference in him, physically, mentally, his character?
Yeah, his temper is high, very hot temper, and easy to get angry. And he's drinking a lot. His soybean milk, and his face, the skin, all quite dark.
Do you mean that in the beginning of the shooting of that film, he wasn't like that?
No. He was quite a happy guy, jumping around. But that time, on that scene, everything he was very serious. No jokes and no nothing. And when he had to take NG again, he was very mad and swearing like
Would you think that this is caused by the things he has been eating, or caused by the pressure of the film, or physically he was losing health and losing his temper?
I think he's physical. Because, well, he usually got a happy life. He's so free, happy life. And suddenly he come up, this high temper. I'm sure that he's physically have something to do with that. Oh, I remember one thing too. And he told me that he got a, that was not on that scene when we were in the restaurant. He said he got a tumor inside his head. He said after we finished this film, in October, sometime October, I have to go to the States and have an operation. But don't tell anyone. We go together. That's what I heard.
Did he say he wanted to go to check up, or he wanted to go for operation?
No, they already checked up on the operation. And because he said now everybody, he's well known that time. So every movement have to be very careful, especially on his physical part. He wanted to show himself as strong. He don't want to show people that he's something wrong or weak.
When you were in the restaurants privately, did he ever talk to you about Betty Ting Pei?
No. Now one thing, he never talked about his private life. That's why he says, one day when we were on the taxi, he said, Charles, you're the only true friend I have. Because you never asked me any private life, and you never asked me to go to a nightclub or bars. He said, you're very different. Yeah, he told me. He says, that's why whenever I feel have someone to talk with, that's why I always get you together. But when we get together, he still don't talk about his private life. Even I ask him, he always ignore it.
At that time, did you know that he went a lot with Betty Ting Pei? And if you knew, have you ever asked him about Ting Pei?
Actually, I knew, but I don't want to ask because what I heard from the other people, if I ask him, he will not mad at me, but I don't want to make him unhappy because we are quite, well, my impression to him is different. I don't want to be too on his private life.
When you heard about that he died at Betty Ting Pei's place, what was your reaction? Were you surprised or not?
I'm not surprised. Because I know if something happened in his house, there must be something that which is all the newspaper will spread out. Because he's a very strong guy and died so suddenly. I don't know. Now I don't know what really happened. Now there's so many rumors, and I don't wanna. Actually, I don't know myself. If I know, I would say.
After he died, I understand you went with him, with the coffin, to Seattle. Who asked you to go with?
Oh, Raymond.
Raymond Chow,
Yeah, Raymond.
the owner of the Golden Harvest.
Yes.
He asked you to go as what?
Now, asked me to go. There's two people are going along. Myself and
Andrew Morgan?
Morgan. And because usually Morgan was quite a partner, good partner. whenever he as a producer, I'm a cameraman. We usually good partners. So they want me to take a documentary film on whole trip and a funeral in stateside, and also help to do some other work.
Now, what kind of coffin was it?
Well,
Was it a wooden coffin or a brass, that type of coffin?
well, when put up in on the plane, I only saw the coffin was covered by all these
Wooden crate?
not wooden, covered by these something like a blanket, all wrapped up.
So you didn't see what?
Yeah, because I was busy on something, on other work, see, and the coffin part, I didn't even know where they got the coffin. I was busy on the documentary, and even in Hong Kong, I had to run around and shoot some newsreel on the funeral.
I heard there was something happened about the coffin that was either water dripping down or leaking or things like that. Was it true?
Yeah, that's some rumors. When I reached Seattle, and when I was staying, I forgot what hotel I was staying, a small little hotel, very nice. And next day, some of the press come over and asked me lots of questions. And they asked me one question. I was surprised. I was laughing. He says, somebody says Bruce Lee is still alive. He was kicked out from the coffin.
You mean?
And is it true or not true?
You mean they asked you that they thought that Bruce Lee was still alive and kicked the coffin and came out?
Yes. And I said, how can you get this story? Well, because they said, when they sent, they found out there's some news about the coffin leaking. Some chemical was spit out outside the coffin. And then they, I think they went to interview all people, and suddenly they sent a cable back to Hong Kong, asked about this question, and some people just used this as a rumor. They said, "Oh, this leaking must be Bruce Lee still alive and kicked out from the coffin."
So, to your knowledge, do you know that was there any leaking or chemical?
Yeah, that's possible, because when I was shooting the picture when they're getting out from the plane, and it's a little wet, some part, because the Northwest Airline, we was at the Northwest Airline, we fly over 10,000. The pressure was quite, even your fountain pen sometimes would get.
Could it be also because of the difference in temperature, that the condensation of the moist on the blanket, and then when it comes down to the ground, then it becomes wet?
Well,
not really a leaking.
That I cannot say, because when I received Morgan and I, we signed for this paper. We don't even dare to touch this coffin. And Morgan was taking care of the rest of the part. And I was just following up and writing news, taking notes, and making pictures.
And okay, during the funeral in Seattle, were there a lot of his students attending?
Yeah, and in the funeral, quite a big funeral, lots of people. I don't even. Well, I was so busy shooting my 16mm camera And in the same time, I have to shoot some stills. And I've been running around. I didn't even recognize who's who. See, but only thing after that, Morgan and myself, we went to all the places where his former teachers and his students. We went to their house and interview about the impression of Bruce Lee with them.
Now, Charles, back to the time when he was alive, I understand he went to a studio in the United States and he did certain demonstration in that
yes.
studio.
No, that was I forgot. That was in. Yeah, it was too long. It's went to one of the studio anyway, and they said, "Do you have any special thing to show us?" I said, "Well, very special. Nothing too much. I just keep one chalk to show you."
Chalk, you mean the chalk that you write on the blackboard?
Those days they still use chalk for
Writing on the
for
blackboard.
our blackboard or the clapper. See? So the guy holding a chalk way high, and he just take off his shoes and he run about 10 feet, jump up and hit. But before that, he asked him, "There are quite many pictures of them. Which pictures you want me to hit on?"
What pictures are you talking about?
All these movie stars pictures. Yeah, many these
Pictures hanging on the wall.
hanging on the wall, like the posters. Something like posters and poster size pictures. And so he kicked it, and the chalk hit on his face.
Did he mention that which one he wanted to kick to, or he just by random he just kicked?
No, he pointed out. He asked them, "Which picture you want me to hit?" And they said, "How about this one?" He just go and kick it right on the face, right? The chalk, right?
The chalk he kicked flew to that person's face,
Right.
as what he said in the beginning.
He said, "This is to him it's nothing special. To us, it's quite hard to kick without the shoes." So he has many kung fu. He didn't want to show because too early those days.
So were those people impressed by his kung fu, the kicking?
Yeah.
And what happened then?
Well, everybody shook hands and shook hands with him. "Ah, it's good." And then they start talking about making a future film or something. And I went out and do something else.
You did say about the rules, consider you as a very good friend and you can talk to him a lot. Do you also consider that you are a very good friend to him?
Yes, we are buddies. He usually can meet with any other people or his friends too. Since we know each other that long, I never received any bad-looking face from him. And he even sometimes when I ignore him, he usually asks somebody to tell me to do that. Like one time when we're shooting when they are rehearsing, and I was using a little camera shooting all these rehearsing, discussing something, and he was very excited that time. But he was quite mad, but he don't dare to say a word to me. He looked at me a few times. I still was shooting pictures. Then he finally asked somebody, says, "Go and tell Charles, stop shooting. I'm nervous.
So
If other people do this, even our studio photographer do this, he will swear his dirty words.
did he swear a lot dirty
Oh
words?
yes. Oh, his dirty words just like singing, nothing. And we get used to it.
So on the other hand, he respect you a lot.
Oh, he really. Sometimes he called me uncle.
He
I
call
don't
you
like-
uncle.
Yeah, I said, call me Charles. I said, I'm not that old yet. He said, but he's, he really respect me, and we really buddy. No matter how, we were very happy together. Even at work or after work. But after work, our life is whenever he wants to quiet, have somebody to talk to normally, he always asks me to go along. No other people.